Salute, and welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I'm your host, Big Fruit, the Michael Jordan of recording, also known as the voice of the streets, but better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in a proper perspective. How y'all doing out there this evening? How y'all doing out there? Salute, and welcome to the chat. First thing you do when you come through, you smash the button. Smash the like button, like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. Please do that. Salute ENY318. Definitely like, comment, and share. Y'all see the title, right? Prince Miller speaks out on the allegations of Bimmy being an informant for 40 years. He also spoke on 50 Cent. We'll get to that. But he spoke on the Bimmy joint. You know what I'm saying? He spoke on the Bimmy situation. Also, you also see in the title, Tom Cross sends home the trial transcripts to expose Kevin Chiles. That paperwork arrived today. And we can look forward to another segment of Conversations from Behind the Wall featuring Tom Cross, a part 2. Because the paperwork has arrived, I got it, and I'm going to start reading it. But I'm going to wait for Tom Cross to call me and give me instructions on what it is he want me to pinpoint, what it is he want me to let y'all know, and what it is he want to know how y'all feel about. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tom Cross. Well, shout out to Tom Cross. You know what I'm saying? Free Tom Cross. Also in Green Haven, free Baby Sam and free the homie Shadu. Word the mother. Free the homie Shadu. You know what I'm saying? Green Haven got a bunch of the homies over there, man. Free Shadu. Shadu is a Brooklyn rapper. Bed-Stuy to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Free Shadu. That's the big homie. Listen, man. Preem made an appearance. Let me get it right for y'all. Preem made an appearance. I mean, not Preem. Pardon self. Free Preem. All this going on because of Preem. Preem trying to get that documentary out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get that word out. He trying to take Hassan down. You know what I'm saying? AP was popping. He trying to take Hassan down. He trying to hit him in his pockets. He ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? So it was all about Preem. But the funny thing is this. Preem and them got so much more product in store. They got more books. They got more TV TV series ideas, as well as the original Supreme Team movie that hasn't been filmed yet. Like, yeah, they got some things going on. So it's very imperative that they do these things that they're doing. They do the documentary. You know what I'm saying? They get the Prince Miller podcast rocking. They got some things they need to do until they connect with the right people and the right studio. And that's what I always say, man. Everybody needs somebody, son. Because in this game of storytelling or book writing or script writing, whatever it is you have a talent at doing, or podcasting or whatever, you need somebody, son. Everybody needs somebody, because if you connect with the right person, it ain't no looking back. That's why I say it's very imperative that people support. You gotta support. If you enjoy the program, you like what the person is doing, and you really rock with the person, you gotta support them. Because who knows, you might be the one that throw that alley-oop that take it out the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? You might be the one that throw the person that alley-oop and get it to rocking. You never know. If it ain't no hate in your blood, throw the alley-oop, bro. Throw the alley-oop. Real talk. Okay, now let me get back to Prince Miller. Prince Miller appeared on, I want to make sure I shout these brothers out. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I mean, you know how we do. Okay, here they go. Prince Miller. Shout out to Prince Miller. Prince Miller appeared. I'm saying, here I am. We, the public, still don't understand if they knew he was a CI, why they was still in cahoots with Bimmy. Somebody lying. Shout out to Prince, though, for a dope and very informative interview. No question, because I'm about to get to that interview. That shit is strange, though, right? Shout out to Prince and the Thanks for Asking podcast. Yes, Thanks for Asking podcast. Make sure y'all go to YouTube and subscribe to the Thanks for Asking podcast. Prince Miller appeared on that podcast recently, and he did a hell of an interview. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that were talked about was the Bimmy situation. And I like the fact that he didn't run from the questions. He answered the questions very intelligently, and he left everybody on standby. I just mentioned they got a whole lot of other stuff in store. Like when it first went down, I said it. I said, yo, I think Preem ain't finished yet. Remember I said that? I said, yo, I said, okay, he called Bimmy in the confidential informant. He ain't released no paperwork. Everybody is up in the uproar about paperwork. Confidential informant, you might not be able to get no paperwork. But that don't mean he ain't got something else in store. I sat here and told y'all that. Well, anyway, we getting back to the thanks for asking podcast. And Bimmy did some talking. You know what I'm saying? He spoke about some things. Let me see. Okay. First of all, he did expound on why it took so long to expose this. A lot of people are not satisfied with his answer, but he did respond. And this was his response.
Why this dude ain't say this about this person, that person, this person, that person, right? Yeah. And they forget something. My case and Preem's case in 1985 happened so long ago. There was no internet. There was no Instagram. We had Tandy 1000 computers but connected to nothing. You couldn't tell the whole world if somebody did this or did that. But guess what? One thing we did do, we told South Jamaica. And the whole South Jamaica know who's a confidential informant, who's a rat, and who's an informant in any case that happened in South Jamaica, Queens. I'm not going to pick on one motherfucker. I'm going to expose all them jokers.
Oh, it's going down.
Especially really mainly the ones from New York. Right. It's so many, and I'm going to say it. And another thing, I have no fear. I've been to every damn neighborhood in Queens. I don't have no fear. I walk around and I always teach about staying away from that lifestyle. Correct. And most of my people, the majority of people that was involved in the Supreme team, they ain't even criminals no more. But they all here. You understand? They all free. Living their lives free. They ain't no suckers. They stood up. The ones that I'm talking about stood up. Man, we ain't stunting none of these jokers that's faking. No doubt. The so-called tough rats, the ones who think that they can scare people. Right. No, you ain't scaring us. You ain't scaring me.
The so-called tough rats.
Yeah. Nobody bother me. I ain't bothering them. Correct. But in self-defense, I'm a master at that. Oh, what took so long?
Yeah, so he expounded. Yo, peace. So salute, Rex. He expounded on why it took so long. A lot of people not satisfied with that answer, but I'm gonna expound on his answer. He said what they did do was let everybody in Jamaica, Queens know. So the whole Jamaica, Queens knew for 40 years Bimmy was a rat. So more than Preem, more than Prince, and more than the Supreme team knew Bimmy wasn't good for 40 years. I'm looking at Queens crazy. I'm looking at Southside Jamaica, Queens crazy. Because like I told you, man, I know dudes he was coming to see in the can. Like, wow. So y'all knew the whole time. That's basically what Prince is saying. But like I said, he ain't ducked the question, but he might not give you the answer you want. But he's going to give the answers that y'all want and the answers y'all need when he forms the Prince Miller podcast. So look out for that. Right now, we need y'all to subscribe to the Thanks for Asking podcast, because that's where he did that great interview. And I need y'all to keep your eyes open for the Prince Miller podcast, which is coming in the near future. Because they ain't finished yet, man. I told y'all. I sat here and said it. I said, nah, son. It's more coming. Now they talking about books. They talking about a TV series. They talking about the real movie. Not the Showtime movie documentary that Nas did. Shout out to Nas on that one. But they talking about the real movie coming. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, this is where Prince explained to the people the difference between a rat, an informant, and a confidential informant. I tried to explain it when I used Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch as an example. Huggy Bear would be what you considered an informant. An informant is basically a snitch, because an informant gives up information and keep it pushing. Like Prince said, an informant will never end up in court testifying against nobody. But a rat, a dude that commit the crime and want to tell on the dude that did the crime with him so he can skate out, that's the rat. He's going to testify. The informant is going to give the information and keep it pushing. The confidential informant is what we want to know about. That's the big hoopla. Bimmy being a confidential informant for 40 years. That's the big hoopla, right? So let's hear what Prince had to say about that. You know what I'm saying?
I want to explain something to your viewers and to whoever else watches this. Right. You got rats, you got informants, and you got confidential informants. These are three different things. Rats take the stand, whether it be grand jury or trial. And informants give information and don't necessarily have to ever take the stand. But then you got confidential informants. They are the worst because they provide information and they wear the cloth of respectable criminals. When in reality, they're the ones feeding the information to the authorities while you're doing your thing. They're right there with you doing your thing. And the thing with the rats, the difference between the rats informants and the confidential informants is it's very hard to get papers on the confidential informant, and the confidential informant knows it. And that's why you hear most confidential informants say, "Where's the work?"
Oh, wow.
See, and the reason why that happens is because they know their handlers protect their work so seriously.
See? So now, everybody's talking about confidential informant, and then everybody's talking about paperwork. The man just lets you know confidential informants are protected by the government to the point where that paperwork will never, ever be exposed. If anybody that watched the Real Big Fruit Podcast, New York City and beyond, East Coast, West Coast, down south, statewide, if you watch the Real Big Fruit Podcast and you have any knowledge of someone being a confidential informant, getting exposed, and the paperwork being revealed, hit me up, man. Hit me up. Because Prince is saying it will never happen. Think about it. Has anybody ever seen paperwork on a confidential informant with their real name exposed? Like, have we ever seen it? If someone has, definitely hit me up at the Real Big Fruit Podcast. So there you have it, man. You got your rat who flip in the midst of the crowd, tell on everybody. That's the rat in the case. Then you got the informant. Then they go on the block, which is also known as the snitch. Telling everything, keeping it pushing. Even probably collecting a couple of dollars from the D's. That's your informant. Confidential informant, he going deep cover, nigga. That confidential informant, he going deep cover, nigga. He going deep cover and he getting it done. Yeah, this was a sharp interview, man. Shout out to Thanks for Asking Podcast. They did their thing. And the last thing I snatched up that he spoke about was Bimmy, man. Yeah.
I watched the documentary and Preem announced somebody who was a CI, confidential informant, for 40 years. I hear Bimmy, I hear him as a good dude, brothers like you wasn't home to say that. Did y'all know he was an informant for 40 years?
I did everything I can not to mention people's names, right? But I don't duck questions.
Right.
I don't duck questions. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
And I'm going to answer it this way. I have a podcast coming out soon. In my podcast, any questions that people are unsure of and anything that podcasters are playing the 50 with, going to be expressed, cleaned up, and cleared up. It's not to embarrass nobody. Nobody. The only reason I'm doing it is because I want to educate the children, teens, and young adults about staying away from that street life. Because if you ain't dedicated to it, if you ain't prepared to do life in prison, leave that stuff alone, because you don't want to be away from your family for the rest of your life. Because you got people who will hustle with you that will not go down with you, that are left. They don't want to leave their children. They don't want to leave their kids, but they don't got no problem taking you away from your kids and your family and putting you in the graveyard, buried alive in the penitentiary for decades. Forget talking about Bimmy for a minute, right? Correct. You brought his name up. I don't duck no questions, right? Forget talking about him for a minute, because it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. What I'm talking about is so many people have been confidential informed. I watched the documentary.
Yeah, he said so many people. That means he said he's going to expose a couple of people, man. This should get crazy. But yeah, man, shout out to the Thanks for Asking podcast, man. They did a great interview. Shout out to Prince Miller. That was hot. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't much to talk about other than that. That's the hottest topic, man. You know what I'm saying? I even tried to reach out to 10 Toes Down. Shaft. Shout out to 10 Toes Down. I'm trying to reach out to 10 Toes Down because I would like to ask him, man, what's his opinion on all this? Especially after Prince has spoken. So I'm definitely trying to track 10 Toes Down now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to track 10 Toes Down. I'm trying to track him down to have a conversation with him about that. Ask him his opinion. Ask him what he really think. You know what I'm saying? Also, y'all see in the title, free Tom Cross. Tom Cross has delivered the paperwork that he wished for me to examine, proofread, and get a better understanding of what it is he's complaining about. You know what I'm saying? What it is he wants the world to know and what it is he wants to expose. I got the paperwork today. I breezed through it. I didn't read everything. I breezed through it. Tomorrow, I'm going to sit down and read it. But I will not elaborate on it until I speak to Tom Cross and get some direction on what it is he wants me to expose and reveal to the public. I was shocked he said he liked Ghetto Quran. Okay, before I leave, we gonna talk about that. Here I am. I got you. But right now, we talking about Tom Cross. That Tom Cross paperwork arrived today. Yeah. And what it looks like, he sent me his trial transcripts, certain sections of the trial transcript, certain people's testimony. He also sent me his attorney's affirmation. And he sent me some articles he wanted me to read and understand. He highlighted some things, so he'll let me know what that means. Send me some of his paperwork, things he tried to get into the courts. Some statements that informants made. Look like this person told on Kevin Chiles. I also told them information that assisted them in the indictment of Kevin Chiles. Another cooperating witness. Wow, that's what he want me to read. I was just trying to big Kevin Chiles up like, yo, damn, somebody told on Kevin Chiles, but the dude who told, let it be known, he's also a cooperating witness. We gonna get to all that when Tom Cross called me and tell me what to do. But what I will do for now is I will share with y'all. He sent me the newspaper article. You know, we really don't rely on newspaper articles and periodicals. Them shits is trash. Them shits can go different ways. You never want to believe a beat writer in a newspaper because they doing what they got to do to excel their career. You know what I'm saying? But this was a newspaper article pertaining to their arrest. So I'm going to read that to you. It says, TV show snares 2 suspects. 2 suspected triple murders, dubbed by cops the most dangerous men in the Bronx, are in custody today after a year on the lam. Officials credited their capture to 3 dog detectives and the tips generated by a TV crime reenactment show. The capture of Thomas Cross in Toledo, Ohio, and Felipe Concepcion in New Haven, Connecticut, marked the 99th and 100th fugitives nabbed after being profiled on Fox's TV's America's Most Wanted. It also ended an exhaustive year-long search by Bronx homicide detectives John Terrieri and Jim Flanagan and robbery detective Pat Brosnan, who scoured the country to get their men. Cross, 29, and Concepcion, 28, are wanted for the murders of 2 Bronx women and for armed robberies. There are also suspects in the July 1989 slaying of a Bronx man and a baby kidnapping. Detectives described the pair as vicious career criminals who have spent more of their lives behind bars than outside them. Those are the 2 most dangerous people I've dealt with in my time here, and I've tracked down the baddest, said Tierney, an 18-year veteran. I feared these guys. The hunt for Cross and Concepcion began last April after the pair was linked to the abduction slayings of 2 victims, and they allegedly took the woman and a friend to an address on West 195th Street, an apartment where they robbed them and shot them each once in the head. A 3rd woman survived and will testify. At the time of the shooting, Concepcion was on parole after serving 6 years for the 1980 strangling death of a New Jersey businessman and father of 2. That's what really got me, Tierney said. Here's a paroled killer who does 6 years and he kills again. 11 months of exhausting investigation led to the detectives from Ozone Park to the Ozark Mountains and to Florida, Georgia, Ohio, and Texas. We tracked every lead. We found out Cross came home for Christmas. The big break came when Most Wanted profiled the duo on its February 25th show. It was overwhelming. We got calls from everywhere. We got calls from jail. It's the ultimate tool in law enforcement. With the help of the FBI agents, Concepcion was nailed Sunday. Cross was picked up Wednesday. Wow. Damn, son, he was describing niggas like street gorillas. You know what I'm saying? They had the street shaking 89 up in the Bronx. I wasn't familiar with street drama in the Bronx like that in 88, 89. Oh my God, Bronx was real. Let me read some of these comments. Salute, broski. Joe C 1225 was happening. There always been something funny about Kevin Chiles. Listen, man. When we did speak to Tom Cross, he mentioned remember he was like, yo, the girl testified and she ain't say none of that. They mentioned here in this article, a 3rd woman survived and she will testify. That's the woman, the testimony I probably have here. I ain't get to read none of it yet. You know what I'm saying? This must be her. Yeah, this must be her. We're going to get to it. Yeah, we're going to get to it. This is spicy. We're going to get to it. I'm going to wait for my phone call from Tom Cross before I give y'all any more of that. You know what I'm saying? Where's the mother? How come you're not speaking about a guy that's supposed to be a super gangster filing a lawsuit against a civilian? Martin, you're late. I did that already, brother. No disrespect. So don't say I'm not doing it. Ask me, did I do it? Because it's already done. The video is already up. I already spoke on the situation with Preem suing Hassan Campbell, and I even revealed the documents. So you're out of pocket, homie. You owe me an apology. Okay? I'd really appreciate it. Don't come up here telling me what I'm not doing. All right? Another thing. You know what I'm saying? Prince Miller came through on that interview and they asked him about the Ghetto Quran, because the Ghetto Quran is what started all that drama in Jamaica, Queens, with Preem and the Supreme Team and 50 Cent and Murder Inc. it was that one song that started everything, right? That one song. And I was surprised. I ain't gonna say I was surprised. I'm really not gonna say I was surprised he liked the song. And you know why I ain't gonna say I was surprised? Because it was a real song. It was a good song. You know what I'm saying? The Ghetto Quran was real. The Ghetto Quran was a good song. I thought it was a great time in hip hop, but other people felt otherwise. But I'm not surprised Prince said he liked the song. I am really not. I'm really not surprised. You know what I'm saying? And this is what he had to say. Don't you think 50 was dry snitching? Yeah, man. Yeah, that, you know, I always felt that. I spoke on that several times. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we're going to talk about, you saying when he was dry snitching about with the song, the Holy Quran? Who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? That's the new slogan here. You be the judge. But in my personal opinion, all he did was stamp what was going on in the street from the past. You understand what I'm saying? Like Prince said, they called him the killer. He the one who should have been offended, if anything, because he called him the killer in the song. But Prince ain't feel no way because he was acquitted of the killings in the court of law. So, I don't know. But the song was a good song, man. He was speaking facts that wasn't common knowledge. So that makes him dry snitch because it wasn't common knowledge. Okay, that's your opinion. You listen, you're entitled to your opinion, bro. He wasn't dry snitching. He talked about shit from 5 to 10 years ago. See, everybody has an opinion, man, and I respect everybody's opinion. But here was Prince's take on it. This is what we want to hear. We want to hear Prince's take on it. How Prince felt.
Say, where's the work?
Oh, wow.
Where's the work?
Go ahead.
Let me ask you how you feel about 50. And this is part 2 question. On the Ghetto Quran. How do you feel about that song?
In the Ghetto Quran, when I heard about it, I felt he was doing what a lot of rappers do. He was giving people, they props.
Right.
I know people was like saying that, yo, man, he's saying too much, this and that. Right. Shit, I'm the one that he said the killer.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so I should be the one most offended.
That's a fact.
Right? I wasn't offended because I was charged with killing people and I was found not guilty. So why would I be offended if I was found not guilty? Right. So if a person had a perception that I was one way, the courts had a perception that I was another. So I'm not going to get mad because he was giving some words and giving some props. It doesn't bother me like that. I didn't even think of it like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, others may have, but that's not me. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but for real, shit, I kind of liked it, the song. I mean, if you want...
People use that as a spin.
Yeah. First of all, let me say something to you. Nobody...
That's a fact. That's a fact. Nobody care about that. That's a fact.
Ain't nobody... Look, let me tell you something. That was some spin. I like the Ghetto Quran, if you want to know the truth.
There you have it.
It didn't bother me one bit.
But the perception was the other way around. Like the other way around.
When you hear talking at Southside, you hear talking to team.
Yeah,
I like that. That's right, with official. And I ain't saying that to be jocking nobody one way or another.
We know people want to hear it from you. It's the truth, though.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. It ain't bother me at all.
There you have it. He said it didn't bother him at all, man. Shout out to Prince for being a real one. You know what I'm saying? He spoke, that's how he felt. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. But that shit started a whole bunch of nonsense, yo. Listen, man, y'all know how I do. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is, say what it ain't. And right now, it's all about Bimmy and Prince Miller. Like I told you, man, I didn't think Preem was finished. And Prince Miller is putting it out there. They are not finished. They are not finished, bro. And it's going to go down, son. So y'all make sure y'all keep your eyes open for that Prince Miller podcast. Remember, Preem went back to the streets. He did not need the heat. Of course, Prince going to watch his words. He don't want the heat. Everyone who beef with 50 got light. Yeah, he definitely gonna stay away from that, man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna stay away from that, man. But like I said, man, it's all about Bimmy, Prince Miller, and that new Prince Miller podcast that's coming soon. So y'all keep your eyes open for that. But me, I'm gonna keep my eyes open. I'm gonna keep my ear to the street, and I'm gonna continue to try to bring y'all some good content. I hope y'all enjoyed this tonight. It's 75 of y'all in the building. When I cut this thing off, I'm gonna see how many likes I got. But it's 75 and it's 80 of y'all now. I really appreciate it. Listen, man, your boy is up out of here. And until next time, salute.